Good morning, everyone. If you'd join us in the pledge, we're going to open up. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So Senator Avard is not going to join us today. Senator Bradley's going to fill in for him, but I'm going to recess for just a few minutes to let him get here. So when we come back, we will go into exec session. right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back.
Move to go into exec.
Motion to exec. Do we have a second? Second?
Oh,
All in
you
favor?
asked, I thought somebody seconded, I was so waiting for the vote.
All in
Sorry.
favor of going into exec?
Aye.
All right, we have 5 bills we have to exec. I think we'll just do them right in order, starting with House Bill 1121. Do we have a motion?
Move on to pass.
We have a second? Second. All right, the motion is ought to pass. We have a second. Discussion.
Senator, in the hearing report, you noted, as I recall, that the DES had presented us with that letter, and I had suggested replacing.
Donovan Fenton.
Excuse me, I had suggested replacing the.
If I call you, does it say my name?
Yeah, replacing the bill with Donovan Fenton. No.
Should he be in committee? Yeah.
I had suggested replacing the bill with that paragraph, the last paragraph on the first page of the letter of testimony, which was the language they said if we were going to do this, they would prefer. You sought clarification of the department's position regarding the language in the paragraph about whether by the property owner would include property owners themselves or the contractor, and she said that that yes, you can hire a contractor because that still would be considered an action by the property owner. So it seemed to me that that was if we were going to pass the bill, that would be the way to do it. But I didn't know if you had any further thoughts about that suggestion from them.
I know the prime sponsor was concerned with sort of taking away the end blockages part. They had concerns about that. I certainly am supportive of the last part of the sentence, provided mechanized equipment does not enter the water course. That I would certainly be supportive. Could we consider just adding that to the bill?
Well, we do have, DES did provide us with the current emergency authorizations for private property. And a lot of what was presented in testimony of things that were possibly going to disturb a significant structure on the property or flooding on the property is actually already covered. So, they can request the authorization to act already on these emergencies. And, the possibility of disturbing the floor of the riverbanks and the stream banks and rerouting passage or disturbing what was the habitats underneath what has fallen on the top is very, very high. If someone coming in, particularly with the heavy equipment.
So Senator, I think by prohibiting any mechanized equipment from entering the stream bed, you're
Sure.
really minimizing what type of stream bed sediment could be removed. And I think that was the main key that I came away from. I
Right.
know that DES get concerns with the word "and blockages," but I think that you've got it so narrow here.
I'm sorry, what did you just,
They had the issue with the word "and blockages." That was really their concern in the original bill. But removal of woody debris and blockages. The woody debris, they didn't have the issue with. It was the and blockages that they had concern. But I think by prohibiting mechanized equipment from entering the stream bed, you're really narrowing what kind of impact that the homeowner could have. And this is really just in an emergency situation where there may be a little bit of debris or could even be a little bit of sediment that's causing that brook or river to shift and go across into a different part of it, especially on fields. I know it's a real problem. So,
If I may
yes.
say is that I think that what I'm concerned about is that if you have equipment in the riverbed, you have the potential possibility of the water course itself being changed, and that's a complicated process if that needs to be done because something has changed its water course. But also, it becomes at that point not something about your own property, but potential impacts because of
you.
the activity on property owners downstream from you. So, you know, that to me is more the thing. This started out as a bill with a logic for it and saying, hey, I've got a problem on my land or my bank. It's affecting my property. Fine, I get that. And the DES was saying, well, yes, but if you have heavy equipment in a waterbed, then you're gonna potentially affect people downstream, and that makes it a little different. So I really, I mean, if you look at, you have the language in front of you, but I think that, I know, I talked to Representative Aaron during the hearing, and she still had some quibbles and reservations about doing this, but I do think the DES opened the door for us to pass a bill that doesn't create, you know, that lets the homeowner do what, the property owner do what they wanna do without jeopardizing the larger point of heavy equipment in the stream bed. So, I don't know, I think it's a reasonable way to go, to have that be a committee amendment.
So how about if we were to go after the words by the property owner and add, provided mechanized equipment does not enter the water course?
But not into the water course.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the original bill, on
So
line 4,
Stop after the comma of property owner?
and put,
And then
provided mechanized equipment does not enter the water course, comma, is allowed without a permit. That would
Yeah, okay.
address that concern.
Yeah,
That'd be fair?
I think that, to me, I mean, I'm not, you know, I can only speak for myself, but for me, that would get at the heart of what DES was concerned about.
I will move a committee amendment that on line 4, after the words by the property owner, we put a comma, which I believe is correct grammar, and add, provided mechanized equipment does not enter the water course, comma.
Yeah,
And
So I
correct
think-
me if my grammar is wrong there.
your grammar's great. I just have a question about, we have not defined blockage. So is a blockage from a storm, you know, like with the January storms? Is it from a hurricane? Is it from something that has built up over time? Or, you know, it's kind of nebulous and gives people a lot of leeway in changing the course of a water channel.
But the title itself, relative to creating certain wetlands permit exemptions after a natural disaster or flooding event. So it's specifically in those instances.
I think it's pretty narrow. I think by putting that in, we've addressed the main concern that the DES expressed. And I think we've still kept the integrity of what the original bill sponsor was looking for. Do we have further discussion on the committee amendment? Are you clear, Phil, on that? Okay. All right.
So
All
do
right.
we, where are we?
So in the committee, we're voting on the committee amendment of adding,
It's already been moved and seconded, the amendment?
I moved it, I guess.
Second.
Okay, I'm sorry. I missed the second.
But it's not, actually, okay, are we in the discussion?
Yes?
Okay, so that's actually not, that's the title, but the referenced RSA is not that. You know, it says relative to certain wetlands permits exemptions after a natural disaster or flooding event, but those words, exemptions after a natural disaster or flooding event, are not included in the new sub-paragraph, nor is it at the top of the RSA 482A. So could we add that in so that it's clear that this new paragraph, sub-paragraph, is only applicable after natural disasters or flooding events?
Why don't we put it in the language when we're speaking on the floor, so the intent of our legislation is said outwardly, so the intent is there.
But it's not in the letter. So when referring to it, you know, it's, once it's printed and part of the legislation, you know, asking someone to go back and look at the, you know, the debate is not.
Senator, I think you make a fair point. Could we add that language after a natural disaster or flooding event?
Removal of woody debris? Putting,
Removal of woody debris and blockages
After,
caused by
after a,
flooding.
got it.
after a natural disaster or flooding
Flooding
event
event.
from the channels. Would that do it?
Yep, let's do it.
And that is what the
That's
sponsor testified
Yes.
to.
Yes,
Right.
Phil, are you clear on that? Can you read that one? Sure, so on line 3, after,
Removal of woody debris and blockages, comma.
I don't even think you need a comma.
Oh.
After a natural disaster or flooding event from the channels of the water courses. And I think that would cover your concern.
Yep.
Do we have further discussion? I just want to make sure Phil is clear on this.
Disaster or flooding event.
Okay.
Do you
You
need a
good?
second on that?
I think we're still good.
So, are we, since I'm on a roll here, we're gonna define blockage?
No,
All right. You know,
best to stop.
2 for 3, 2 out of
A
3.
damn too far.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Oh, look what happened sitting next to him all this time. Become punny.
All right, further discussion on the committee amendment. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Senator Bertzel moves out to pass as amended.
Second.
All right, seconded.
Consent?
Further discussion? We have a vote on it. All in favor?
Aye.
Now you can move consent.
Move consent?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, see, that was easy. Got one done. 1221.
Who's taking it out?
Senator Bertzel is.
Mr. Chairman, for the sake of discussion, I'd like to move on to pass.
1221.
Yes, on 1221.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion.
So, we heard from DES, there was nobody who came in opposed to the bill. And we heard from DES that their concerns, over some of the language had been addressed, in the House amendment. And so it's a pretty, simple approach is that the notification is mailed to folks. And I think particularly when you think about water courses, and it's not just the town in which something might be located. And I'll say from my own experience in Dover, when there were the issues about effluent going into the Cochico headwaters, Dover was notified, and that's when they then built the facility. Well, actually, they started trucking the effluent out of state to be treated down in Massachusetts. With all the stuff rules we're under in the Great Bay from the EPA already, it just made sense that, that we and the other communities along the Great Bay would know that there was an effluent problem in a landfill that wasn't cited in one of our communities. So I just think it's public notification in the bill, and I don't think it. And they were asked directly, would this have any impact on any current application? And she didn't seem to think so. She said, of course, you could ask the Attorney General, but I can't see how it would affect any current consideration. They'd have to be, other communities have to be notified when an application came in. So, anyways, that's my 2 cents worth.
So my concern stems from my 13 years of serving on the zoning board and having to deal with regional impact applications as it pertains to, we have New Hampshire Motor Speedway in the town of Loudon. And it was deemed that was a regional impact because of the traffic that occurred. And I can just tell you that they can be a headache for a municipality to deal with.
Well,
I guess I have some unanswered questions, which is why I was contemplating moving interim study on this. I was concerned that there's more to it than what we heard in testimony, just from my own experience of serving in that capacity. And
well, the heart of it is lines 18 to 25. It says, not more than 5 business days after reaching a decision regarding a development of a regional impact, the local land use board having jurisdiction shall by certified mail furnish the regional planning commission and the affected municipality. So we're probably talking about one regional planning commission and maybe 10 municipalities, I would suppose, for any given case. And then send them the copies of the minutes. And then the initial plans that had been provided in this application and the cost provided by the applicant shall also be, those plans will be provided to the planning commission, so they'll have the documents. And then notification will be mailed, regional impact shall be mailed to the Secretary of State. And then the last paragraph said, nothing in this act shall be construed to include landfill facilities on each site in which, have been permitted as of the 2022. So I guess the current thing would be if Dalton goes ahead, what this bill would say is that, guess what, you're gonna notify the municipal planning, the regional planning commission and the communities in the area, and it's notice. It's not that they get to act or that they get to intervene. I mean, they can do whatever they want, and they're gonna get a copy of the plan, which would be a thick document. So that just goes to the regional planning committee, so somebody's gotta pay for that Xeroxing and mailing. So I don't know, it almost seems like a right to know thing, but.
I just had concerns on knowing the impact that it had on our town in dealing with these, that I felt like there was some unanswered questions on this for me, and that was why I was looking, especially line 21 and 22, the new paragraph, when a solid waste facility is found to affect a watershed area outside the boundaries of the state of New Hampshire. That could be pretty encompassing, especially if you were looking at, the Connecticut River. It could be something that they felt that, I don't know how you'd found it to affect a watershed area. I'm not sure exactly how that would be established, but it just looks like it could be very encompassing, and I didn't feel we were ready for this. So I won't be supporting the ought to pass. I really think this needs to be.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, the last thing I'll say is that we've had a lot of landfill bills that are
Yes.
probably gonna be going down. And, there's a lot of concern across the state
Understood.
about landfills, and it seems to me that of all, if all the other ones are gonna go down, it's something. And I think it recognizes that people are concerned and says you're gonna get some information.
Well, Senator Bradley has suggested that maybe we eliminate paragraph 3 and pass the rest of the bill. Would you consider that? My real concern is in section 3. I think that could get very encompassing.
Are you good with that?
I think I could live with that.
It's something, my colleague from the Seacoast.
Yeah, these kind of things give me particular heartburn, because,
Understood.
we are,
Yeah, you are.
They do for all
We-
of us.
well, our watersheds are actually poisoned.
Mm-hmm.
And, had we had some notification back in the day, it would have made a significant difference. And the municipal impact on local wells, watersheds, and municipal water was enormous. And the state's paying for some of that. It's not cost unborne by us, so we can take precautions and let everybody know what's going on. And then there's not a question of like, well, I didn't know. No one told us. A certified letter
Well,
is not a huge lift.
if
I don't
may-
think.
If I may add though,
Yeah.
Deborah, or Senator Altshuler, that look at, you'll see, lines 10 and 11. And I'm not sure I have the right, I have the amendment here, I'm not sure I have the as amended version in front of me. But you see in section 2,
Is this the same?
in section 2, yeah, so it's here 8 or 9, there's your notice. Mine's 8 or 9, there's your notice. I think the part 3 is this kind of a second notice, but there's your
Yeah.
notice, there's your
Yeah.
notice. And 8 and 9, so
My intention of talking about that is that, the next communities could benefit from that which we did not have. And so we can see where that would be
Yeah.
an important piece of information for the regionally potentially affected watershed to be notified. I hear that you're not willing to budge on that, but I wanted to voice my objections.
Well, I think Senator Waters makes a great point. The notification is still there. It's just, I just have a real concern about how impactful that could be. And again, having some experience in doing these regional planning issues, they do get cumbersome for the town, for the host community. So that was my concern.
So you're proposing a committee amendment to eliminate section 3.
I'll do that. Is there a second? Second. All right. Do we have, Phil, are you clear on that? All right. Do we have discussion on the amendment, the committee amendment to remove section 3? All right, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Do we want consent?
Well, we can move on past as amended.
Oh, yeah.
Senator Waters, did you want to move on to pass as
I'll do that.
amended?
I'll pass as amended.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now you can move on to
Consent.
consent. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Senator Waters, would you like to
Sure.
take this out? Thank you. All right, House Bill 1490,
Move on to pass?
Second.
discussion. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Consent.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any, Senator Altshuler, would you like to take this one?
Sure.
1494,
Vote to pass.
second.
Second.
Sorry.
Still reading the last one.
Discussion.
Wait, we were 1494.
We're on 1494. I'm channeling
Bless you, whoever that
my
was.
inner Senator Avard and just
I
moving
guess.
this right along, bang, bang, bang.
Where are we?
1494, we have an ought to pass in a second.
Okay.
Um, I saw no issue with this bill, and the only notes I had were fine with an ought to pass, so I'll support it. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Consent?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll take this one out. I can't give it to Senator Bradley. I'm not giving one to everybody else.
Just go on consent, you could.
That's what you want the next one. 1499, do we have a motion?
Move on to pass?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent?
Consent.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Senator Birdsell, why don't you take that?
Okay.
Well, with that, I think Senator Avard would want me to thank everyone on the committee for their great work this year, because that is all of our bills. And thank you to Senator Bradley for filling in today. Certainly wish Senator Avard the best. I know he's having,
I just talked to him this morning. He said he should be good to go tomorrow. So,
Good.
Good.
Excellent.
That's scary.
very good.
chainsaws and ladders.
Leave that to professionals, right?
I'm under new management, so I can't do those things anymore.
All right, with that, do we have a motion to come out of exec?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we are done our committee work for today. We made it.
No committees accomplished, right? Just certainly-
I doubt that.
Not at all.
Thank you again. Well, thank you all, and we'll go. With that, we're done.